In terms of the security, we were talking a little bit about this before. What is the difference between the security that you would want on NASDAQ or CME, a regular exchange, a different kind of exchange, and a crypto exchange? They're both exchanges, but they operate in fundamentally different ways. So
I'll take that. The exchanges today and the banks today are held up to really high standards and accountability. And so, they are audited. They have information security policies, standards, procedures. They have security operations centers that monitor. They make sure that they have all of their systems up to a certain standard that they're required to have, and they get audited to that. So I think that that's a huge difference that you see today. Like, there is no regulation, right? And we're catching up to that, and I think it'll get to that point. We're working right now with Malta, my company, to help write those regulations and keep a certain level of accountability to these new companies.
Well, about once a week or a couple of times a month at least, I get a press release from an exchange that says we're the first, or we're going to be the first SEC-approved exchange. Is there an SEC-approved exchange?
No, not at the moment. What I believe the SEC is doing is, like you said, trying to understand how they should address this. And put those requirements in. And so they're looking to the governments that are moving a little bit faster because they're smaller on this, and looking to the Singapores and the other areas that have limited and set out some requirements and some restrictions. And then they're looking at, okay, where did some of these hacks happen? What happened in China, where they had to shut things down, and trying to really understand a little bit more before they set forward.
And do you get any protection? Is there, the exchanges now mostly register state by state, right? So they have money change licenses, that kind of thing. Are you getting protection from New York State, or is there someone there that you can count on to help you?
That's a great question. I think the answer is probably not, or it depends on where you are and what the case, what actually happened. So right now, it's because it's difficult. Let's say you lose all your coins; it's difficult to track where they went. The protections aren't very strong. And
the other thing that exchanges are always telling me, or that the pitch that I hear a lot is, we're a decentralized exchange, and that's much safer. Is it much safer?
So the biggest difference between like a traditional exchange and a crypto exchange is the fact that there's wallets that are holding all those assets, and if those assets are transferred out, they are in most cases irreversible. With a decentralized exchange, most of them allow you to custody your own funds. So when a transaction happens, it does like an atomic swap or something else, where basically the funds don't leave your wallet until the moment that whatever you're trading it for hits your wallet. And so in that sense, it's safer for if you don't trust the exchange to keep your assets safe. But the usability of managing your own assets for the crypto tech. Blockchain tech is somewhat complex, and people lose their wallets all the time. Far more has been lost than been stolen.
I can't tell you how many times I've had people tell me, oh yeah, I own 12 Bitcoin and I lost my key and now that's gone. And of course at the time it was $12 or something, but.
Yeah, I've lost hundreds.
But so far the context I think of our conversation has been about hacks. What other kinds of dangers are there in terms of manipulation? Is there spoofing? Is there front running? And how can you, one, know if that's a danger, and two, what can you do about it if you're a security person?
Yeah, I think you need a solution where you have backups, right? I mean, relying on a USB drive in your safe isn't really the best solution, but that's the best solution that we have right now that's out there, right? But those drives can be faulty. You could lose it. You can forget your password. All these kind of things. So we need to have multiple copies and backups. Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like the decentralized exchanges, I've heard it said that spoofing is a danger, that I guess you can suggest that there's going to be a big amount moving and then.
It's your typical pump and dump schemes. It's, hey, this is coming up, let's buy. And then it's criminal activity, and it's been proven that the fraudsters are in there pumping up the value falsely, then to sell it, right? So it's your typical scheme in financial fraud, and it's just kind of tracking those down and works with Bitcoin, and again, tracking, they're all chatting on back channel communications, looking at those communications and making sure, if there's red flags, we alert and say this isn't real or this could be fraud, potential fraud. It's setting up those kind of alerts to holders of the coins.